right, everybody. What is
Live.
up? We are live. I am here with Goraphobe, the horror YouTuber of the month. Again, congrats, man. That is awesome and it is well deserved and should have happened a while ago.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Of course, brother. And we have Chris, the slasher dude, making his
Going
debut
on?
on the channel.
Yeah,
And
it's great to be here.
I'm great. I'm glad to have you, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Sean is joining us. He's going to be a little bit late. And
Chris is one of the nominees
yeah.
for this month. So
Yep,
definitely
yes,
go and vote.
Yeah, second time. Second time, two time.
That's what actually I think that's what Dave was nominated because Dave, me, Gareth, and Vass from Horror Lives Matter were all nominated by Mike at the Real Fit Beetle. Like this
Nice.
was like maybe September of 2022, maybe 6 months. I was at like 84 subs. Like I had the least out of all of them. Gareth was like at like 800, so like he was like kind of up there.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning for October. Then I nominated everyone pretty much who we were nominated together. So I nominated Dave and stuff like that. And Al won. Then it finally went back around and Dave finally won that.
Nice.
So, yeah. What's up, Pap Smear? How you doing,
Pap
buddy?
Smear.
I love his name. Joe, what's up, buddy?
Sisters.
Always with that Pole Sisters. What's up, Brandon? Yeah,
All
we
Lives
saw
Matter.
that comment.
That's a great name.
I know. When I
dude.
first started and I met him and I saw his channel, I said that is a fucking great name for a channel. Like really, really cool. Same with Dirk's, like Subjective Perspective Collective. Like that is a great fucking name too. Like I've always said that as soon as I saw it. Yeah, Brandon Demons is great, man. That is an absolute classic. If you haven't seen, I just did a little mini doc and top 10 list on Mario Bava. Lamberto Bava is his son who did Demons and Demons 2. I've been trying to get Greta on for a while. I talk and she's in I talk to her on Instagram like every now and then, but like I don't know. She always says come to conventions, but she ain't going to be at a convention near me anytime soon. So here's Sean. What's up, Sean?
Hey. What's up, man? I gotta go grab a light.
All right, no problem. Who else we got here? We got Johnny. What's up, buddy? Echo. What's up, Echo?
Echo Zero.
Darren. What's up, Darren?
Darren.
Doing, brother?
It's the Burrows. Former slasher dude like myself.
Yeah, slashers have always been my genre, my subgenre of horror. As much as I love foreign films and Italian horror, it's always going to be slasher films. Mostly 80s slashers, but all slashers in general.
By the way, Red Queen kills 7 times. My goodness.
Great movie.
Dude. So Dirk can have Nita Steinberg, make no mistake. My goodness, Barbara Boucher, that's my Red Queen right there, dude. You ain't, yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah, I'm finding a ring for that.
I haven't seen it in years, but it's a great one. And the same with whenever I hear that name, I always think of Black Kelly the Tarantula too, because they both have great names.
Only 2 films he did because he was in his 70s. You know,
yeah.
That director is in, so that's crazy. Great special features with Stephen Thrower of all people. Very cool listening to him always. So I was like straight money when he talks about the film.
Texas for us. What's up, Russell?
Hey, Tex.
ATR, what's up, man?
How you doing, buddy? So if you guys want to watch along, I mean, it is on Shudder. It's streaming in pretty much most places for free. If not, Look Movie. I know some people have actual copies. I have no like physical media anymore. I got the only 2 franchises I have. I know you guys all got your physicals. Only ones I still
nice.
have.
That's a nice one.
All the Friday, I have the whole Friday film collection, but they're bootlegs. Fucking, they're good. A cousin gave them to me because he used to sell bootlegs at horror conventions and shit. He got busted. Here we go, though. But I got all the Friday film still, and then I got the Phantasm series. It's a 5-disc Phantasm series, and then some random movies and classics and favorite films. That's pretty much it. I got to start collecting shit again. But this movie is a trip, and this is actually the video I did on this movie is the most viewed video on my channel. 42,000 views. It just took off out of nowhere after like 5 months or so. It was like a year and a half ago, like pretty early on.
These films
like-
do take off, man. When you do
Yeah,
something like these films,
because
like
they're
Panther
controversial and stuff. Yeah, they're controversial films. They're disturbing movies, so they tend to get looked up often. So I think that's what
these
contributed
guys
to
fit
that.
like this, man. You know,
Yeah.
they got 130-some thousand now.
Yeah, no, I know. And that's awesome, and it keeps going because mine was.
They all
I'm
do.
pissed because they fucking age restricted it when it was at like 42,000 or so, like last year, and then I rebutted it. I saw the request coming because the email hit me, and I said, "What the fuck? It's just me talking." That was before I edited and put clips and anything like that, and they immediately took it off, but then it stopped
Which
dead
tells
in its
you-
tracks.
Which
Fucking
tells you
stop.
one thing.
Yep,
Tells
they
you
just
one
threw
thing.
right off the
A lot of
algorithm.
people love these. A lot of people, they just won't admit it.
Oh yeah, so
A lot of
this
people love
film.
them. They just won't say so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go around and say, tell us when the first time and like first experience you had with this film. We'll go with Chris and go around.
With me, really, you just hear about it. I didn't watch it until a couple years ago. I remember the Blu-ray was on Grindhouse. This is a great release. I picked it up, and then I did a watch along on Dana's channel, Evil Dead Chick. We did this one and Cannibal Ferox, and
That's another good one.
that was the first time I watched this. But you hear about it. It's the original video, nasty. You know, it's found footage, which I didn't know. But it's the OG found footage film. You know, it sits on that mountain. You know, by itself. Really, there is other ones, McPherson tapes being one of them. But yeah, it's an OG video, nasty. I like it. Is it very disturbing? Yes, it is to this day. So, you know, but yeah, it's definitely one of those films, man, that belongs in those annals.
Yeah, absolutely. Keith, what was your first time seeing this film?
Oh man, the OG, like the OG, not the OG video nasty, but the OG found footage. Man, probably 10 or 15 years ago, and also did it on Extreme Theater episode 1. I mean, what else could I pick for Extreme Theater episode 1 besides this? Great film, but I would say 10, 15 years ago. I mean, I was a little late to it because I was caught up in slashers and all that, you know, all the 80s slashers and all that kind of stuff, and the Exorcist and all those.
Yeah,
and then I started skipping over to the Italian stuff and everything, and started, you know, messing with that. And then I called this, was like, holy shit! And then I heard he went to jail and all that shit because it's that convincing. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's Sean. When's the first time you saw this? What do you remember? First time seeing this?
I know a friend, like back in it was like 2005. He had a DVD of this, but we would always put it on and just not really pay attention to it. We would just like smoke weed and shit and like have music on and have the movie on in the background. So we weren't listening to any of the dialogue. We just had music on and playing the movie. You kind of just sit there and watch the imagery of it, but I never really watched the entire film, never really bothered to like look into the whole hype of the whole thing. At that time, I just wasn't into cannibal films, didn't really understand them or anything. I was just more into like straightforward horror films, like slashers and stuff. But it was like a couple years after that is when I was starting to become a little bit more familiar with Italian horror. And a buddy of mine asked me to go to a screening of this. They were screening this like a 35 millimeter print. So I was like, all right, I'll go or whatever. And, you know, we went and watched it. And that was when I really started to pay attention to the soundtrack and how effective that is alone on top of what you're already watching. So at going to that screening definitely opened me up more to the movie. And then it was a couple years after that, there was another screening in my area for Cannibal Holocaust. And I was like, all right, yeah, I want to go this time and watch it because now I'm more familiar with the movie and now I actually care about the movie. And I was able to enjoy that so much more. But I remember the print on the last one, like the last screening we went to, it was like the corners were all like rounded off and everything. It was like, it was such a rough print, dude. It looked like it went through hell. Like,
through the
Grindhouse. Yeah, Grindhouse.
Yeah, like, I really like.
I love
like
that look.
watching the movie. Like I felt like like when I was watching that print, like I felt like I was in the jungle. Like, I just felt completely disgusting watching this print.
It's
It
like
was
he's
so
actually
bad.
looking through the camera that they're looking through. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like
know
I just
exactly what you mean. And what's up, Blissful? How you doing?
Hey, Bliss.
And yeah, I'm glad you brought the soundtrack up because that's a good segue into the score of this movie.
Oh,
And
dude.
my history with this too. Like, I was just saying pretty much what all you people slasher person, and yeah, after seeing Halloween, Friday, Nightmare, all the popular ones, dove into the 80s slashers, the lesser known ones, rent them from Blockbuster all the time. Then when you hit like I think most horror fans, like hardcore ones especially ones who started like young, we all have this like phase where we always seek out like what's the most disturbing movies out there. Like, no, I want like fuck Jason, fuck Michael. So I give me like the goriest and craziest shit out there. And like I feel like most of us have that little phase, and I had a phase like that like in my early mid-teens or so. And of course, like you said, Chris, this movie you hear about all the time in the horror world because of just how controversial it is. It has the animal killings, the actual animals killed in this movie, which I know is the thing for a lot of people. For me personally, I don't give a shit either way. It was 1979. They made use of them. They ate the animals, but I get it. Like I get people who can't. I know people who can't watch this movie and never have just because of that. Because and I respect that. There's such big animal
Or to
lovers.
be Rad can't do it. Dead Pit has tried and tried and tried to do a watch.
Yeah, no, Pat,
he won't do it.
Too, Pat Cheetah also, because he's such an animal lover. He's never been able to watch it either. And I know I've heard that many times over the years from many people. But same thing as Sean. Like when I first saw this, I was like, all right, and like it was lived up to the hype pretty much, and how controversial it is. And then maybe I went 5-6 years without seeing it again. And then I saw it again, and I really like looked at it in a totally different way. And that's the same type of thing when the score really like stood out to me. And I've seen this movie countless times since then. It's my 25th favorite movie of all time. The score is, I think, one of the greatest compositions ever put to film.
Absolutely.
It is just gorgeous. From Rich Ortolani, is so good in this, and it's so jarring, but in the best way possible, because it balances the main theme with the more synth heavy and like evil sounding stuff that you get throughout like certain tense scenes. Just the way that the score is utilized in this movie is fantastic. Yeah, the whole soundtrack is just so important to this movie. It kind of reminds me of like Candyman, which is another top film of mine, but it's one that wouldn't be a perfect film for me if it wasn't for the score.
I agree with that. Yeah,
like,
I totally agree with that.
It would be an 8 out of 10 maybe, but with the score by Philip Glass being one of my favorite scores also, it brings it to a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece, that movie.
It's like Hellraiser.
Like I'm not a big Hellraiser fan, but I could see the same. I could see that. I could see the score is great for the first, at least the first two.
Yeah, the first two. Yeah,
because those are the only ones I've seen, except for I think I've seen 3, and then I just recently with Matt we watched whatever Abomination sequel that was. It was purposely a bad movie that he picked, and it was.
I didn't know there was like 10. I have like
there's a lot of them. There are.
I have like up to 7. I'm like, shit, dude. There's like 10.
Pino Donaggio did Pino Donaggio did that for a lot of films too, man, and he has a resume a mile long. Donaggio.
Oh yeah, he was just in Sinister when I rewatched that. Hey, what's up,
Ninja? Definitely top tier.
How you doing, Ginger Ninja?
I think one of the most important things about this movie is how early on it sets the tone. And that opening epilogue, when you have to read all that and the music that goes with it, and then the final paragraph says, "What you will see will definitely shock and offend you. Nonetheless, it should be viewed as a disturbing historical document of bygone era of extreme irresponsibility which no longer exists. and hopefully will never exist again.
Damn.
Just that
Damn.
paragraph right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Wow, what am I about to watch?
Exactly. And it's just like, it's kind of like
Texas
what's-
Chainsaw
oh.
Massacre did it. I
yeah,
mean,
and like Last House on the Left is only a movie.
oh, dude.
Or
Yeah.
it's only a movie. It's only a movie. Like that's been used as a good marketing ploy for a decent amount of movies, especially in like the 70s, like late 70s, early 80s. And like just putting on, same we saw there with oh, come on. I Spit on Your Grave. I was thinking the original title, Day of the Woman, for some reason. I couldn't think of I Spit on Your Grave. But I think one other thing
immediately gets people's attention. You know what I mean? Say, this is true events. This really happened. People are like, oh,
yeah. I mean, look at the Blair Witch Project. So before we start the movie, there's one other thing I want to touch on, and that's something that Chris brought up about the found footage aspect of this movie. I am a decent fan of found footage. I mean, there's so many at this point. Like just on Tubi alone, there's probably like 1,000 or more.
Yeah.
And the success rate is maybe like 1 to 10 good or like great to bad.
About 3/4 are bad. Yeah. 3/4 of the genre is bad. You have to find gems in there.
Exactly. And there's like I did a video a while back on my top found footage, went a whole bunch of honorable mentions for lesser known ones.
Yeah.
But this basically, and I'm glad you brought up the McPherson tape and stuff, was another very early example of the found footage. And I think a better example of it is it's all in found footage.
Yeah, all on the camera.
I love the way they utilize this in this movie, the found footage aspect, because it's not all like that. We cut to the scenes of Monroe, the professor and stuff, looking at the footage with the TV executives.
Yep.
So it's shot like an actual film in some ways. But then you get the footage when they finally find, Yates and the crew's footage. Then they start reviewing it, and it has such a great effect. And the way that it seems so realistic. And I mean, this Deodato was like brought to court and shit on like murder because they thought they actually killed the actors.
Went to jail for 4 months after Dead House at the Edge of the Park, which I consider his masterpiece.
That's a great movie too. That Body Count. He said.
Fucking Body Count is great.
He's made some excellent films, but this is his masterpiece. But I could see that. I could see that with House of the Park. I mean, I love every film I've ever seen by him. It's not many. I've seen maybe 4 or 5 films of Deodato's. But yeah, this is just a masterpiece to me, this movie. And the reason why this makes my top films list is because it's so fucking effective. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And that's what horror is supposed to do. It's supposed to affect you. It's supposed to disturb you. It's supposed to make you feel uneasy. And whether you like this movie or not, whether you like this movie or not, you will get a fucking visceral reaction out of watching it, especially the first time. Yeah, like in some way, emotions will be evoked, whether you can deal with them and recognize for what it's trying to do, or it's too much. Is obviously a very subjective thing. But with that, let's get ready and start watching this. Everyone in chat, whoever's going to watch, let us know. Just let me know when you guys are ready, and then we will kick this off. And I love this opening text.
But I recently picked up Jungle Holocaust. I got this about 4 or 5 days ago. Unfortunately, this really doesn't hold a candle to Cannibal Holocaust. This is also this is a part of his Cannibal trilogy. I think this is the first one, actually. I think Cannibal Holocaust comes in second. It's got a great start to it. Like it starts out very, and like it kind of pulls you in right away. Like what's going on, but once it becomes like a one-man party and everything, it just becomes a bunch of nonsense all over the place. Just like, what the fuck am I watching here? But still a decent film for what it is. But from front to back, it's just not his best work, that's for sure. But apparently this Code Red Blu-ray is out of print now. So I got it for a fair price. That's another thing. I mean, it's out of print. I could have ended up spending like well over $30 for it, but I think I paid $25 for it.
It's not bad, especially for out of print.
Yeah.
Is that a Mondo Macabre?
All right, Brandon's
Code
ready.
Red.
If anyone else comes in and wants to watch in
This is,
chat, drop timestamps. You guys all ready?
Code Red, right?
yeah, this is a Code Red Blu-ray. Yeah, Code Red.
I thought the case was red. That's why I saw the on the cover.
Yeah, it's why my background's all orange.
I love that cover though.
Yeah.
All right, you guys look good. You guys all ready?
Yeah.
All right,
Ready to
let's
go,
do I'll do a 3, 2, 1, go. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, the only thing I think that kind of sucks about the Grindhouse Blu-ray, there's no subtitles.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's not the end of the world. Like, I've watched the movie many times without it. The following motion picture contains intense scenes of extreme violence and cruelty. As distributors of this film, we wish to state that with absolute... I missed it. Can't read it anymore. To quote Thomas Jefferson, it behoves every man who values the liberty of conscience for himself to resist invasions in the case of... Fuck. It's going too fast.
Extreme irresponsibility, which no longer exists and hopefully will never exist again.
Like, dude, that last paragraph is like, fuck. What are we about to watch?
Yeah.
That quote is actually supposed to be from Jim Jones, too. Apparently, that was written all over the fucking coal camp when, they found all, those 900 bodies down there in South America. Apparently, that was, written on the wall somewhere there, in their, I guess, their hut or whatever the hell they were staying.
That was a great quote. Those who cannot remember the past are doomed to repeat it.
I mean, I don't know, Joe. I don't know how what type of films scare you and what
He's not gonna like this.
But no, of course not. I mean, as soon as we answer, I'll be totally honest. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, no.
We'll see Joe goes and watches.
It's a very disturbing movie, Joe. It has a lot of very taboo and pushy themes and subject and content matter, but it's done very, very well from a filmmaking standard.
Towards the end,
stick with Blumhouse movies.
Yeah, it's Grindhouse.
It's all about that key change to E flat, like when the theme changes to the keys, like the violence.
Oh, the ending theme, where the camera's all shaking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just get that theme, man. It's really good. And I'm like going, whoa! It makes you go back on your chair a little bit for the first time. Like
I've done 8 covers of this fucking theme. I've done 3 acoustic, finger style ones. I've done a full looped guitar one, the string one. I just whenever I feel like playing it and shit, I'll just record it.
Screenplay by Paricci, which also did Delirium 77, New York Ripper, Murder Rock.
Yeah, New York Ripper.
Oh, he did New York Ripper too. Oh, very good. There, go. Thank you. I forgot about that. I fucking love New York Ripper.
I love Murder Rock. New York Ripper, I used to like more for some reason. When I did my review on my video on it, maybe it was the mood I was in. I feel like it went down for me on that watch, but it could have just been my mood. Because I've always loved
Dirk did a versus string with New York Ripper versus Pieces. I was on Pieces. And I love New York Ripper, but I was on Pieces.
Yeah,
Pieces. I fucking love Pieces.
I love them both, but Pieces, yeah.
Pieces. Keith, remember we had a great time watching Pieces together.
Ruggero
that was on my birthday, right? That was on my birthday, Keith, I think. Right? It was for my birthday, yeah.
Some
we watched Pieces early on.
Entirety.
I never
That's cute.
I can never get tired of Pieces. That's I forgot where I put it on my slasher list. It's in my top 5 slashers. I love Pieces so much. And that's all he did, except for Slugs, which is also a fun one.
Scream Factory has that.
And he did Pod People, is another one. I never
Pod
saw
People?
it. Yeah, nice. Mystery Science Theater 3000 did an episode on it, but I never saw it. But I've heard
I'm
of it.
New to the more I'm newer to the more vast outskirts of horror. So just been into this for maybe 3 years at the most.
Yeah, it's just a never-ending learning experience.
Dude, yeah.
I got into the Italian stuff, Argento and so there were some Italian movies that I saw younger, but I didn't know them as Italian films. Demons was one of them. Zombie was another one by Fulci, and Suspiria. When those movies were the first.
Yes.
And this film, those are the 4 films that I saw from Italy,
Right.
and didn't at a like early teens, maybe like late, like I don't know, young.
Yeah.
But
You wouldn't go and
I
hey,
didn't
this is
see
supposed
them
to
as Italian horror film. I just saw them
Right.
as another horror movie.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go, hey,
And-
this is Argento, and hey, this is Fulci. You weren't thinking about it that way.
Yeah, exactly. When you're young, like you're not thinking of movies like academically or like technically like aspects of films and stuff like that. You're not dissecting them as much.
Was it good or was it bad? Yeah.
It's not like what we do now, where we just like analyze every fucking detail of these movies. Like when you're a kid and you're young, we're watching these. We're just like we want to see the fucking kills and the gore and the nudity. Like
I
That's
like
what
That'd
I
be
like
so
the Green
boring. but
Inferno.
the movie was bad.
I actually like the Green Inferno, Brandon. I know a lot of people
I
don't.
was just going to address that comment. I like it
So
too.
do I. I like
that
the
airplane
Inferno,
scene
too.
is great, dude. The scene in the plane cracked me up. You see, like the branches go through, like impale somebody. I'm like, what the fuck? They just crash and all this shit.
It's a great tribute to Deodato. I know that Roth and him became very good friends.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's his love letter, obviously, to Deodato's film here. It's named after the documentary in the film here. The Green Inferno. But he has, of course, he loved those Roth loves those Cannibal Mondo films and stuff. So it's a love letter to all.
Hostile stuff like that, torture porn.
I like a lot of Roth stuff. He gets a lot of shit, and like I think because of just his attitude. Like I've reached out to him, he seems like a dick. Like personally, but like, and I've heard that a few times from people.
Yeah,
but like maybe his personality rubs people the wrong way. But I like most of his movies.
Introduction to some stuff was his horror series that he did with AMC.
That's a great series. Yeah,
that's a terrific series. Masters of Horror. It's a great series.
He has Rob Zombie on. He had a lot of people on, but Rob Zombie often on there. They're talking. I can listen to the two of them talk movies.
Tobin Bell. It's always cool listening to Tobin Bell talk about his character Jigsaw.
It's just great hearing him talk in general.
Yeah, dude.
Because that voice is such a great, like Tony Todd almost.
Yeah, because he comes off the same. Yeah,
it's almost like Tony Todd, like that iconic voice. Like I can listen to Tony Todd narrate the worst novel ever for like 18 hours straight, just because of his voice. I love the tribal sound here, the score, like just the drums. Reminds me of, and I just saw this movie like in the last year. Oni Baba. The Japanese film from 60-something, 64. Right. Has anybody seen Onibaba?
Criterion has it, but I haven't seen it before.
That's an early Japanese horror film. And when I was doing Japanese horror, like for 1 month last year, somebody recommended it. And I've heard of it, but I never saw it. And it was on Max. It's still on HBO Max. And I watched it sometime last year, and I really enjoyed that. And the score is very like tribal sounding, like here in this like scene and stuff. Just made me think of it. Great mask in that movie too.
Oh yeah,
like it's one of those I forget what they're called, but it's like the Japanese like demon mask. It's really effective.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Ruggero Deodato even really had the courage to even want to make another cannibal film after Jungle Holocaust. I just think for me personally, I think one experience in the jungle would be like, all right, thank God that's done. I'm never going back to the jungle ever again. But yeah, he went back there like 3 fucking times.
And I know this was the same location where Apocalypse Now was filmed. He had to do it on the other side of the island? Because
I think I do remember reading about
that. They did that. They literally exploded like the whole thing. Like at the beginning when you hear and for that film, you hear it. You hear the music, right? Then you just see the bombs just go boom, 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 boom. He's like, yeah, we had to do it over here. It's a great transfer too. You see greens look good.
Can you imagine getting support for making a movie and the effects looking so good that you're being charged with murder and thrown in jail?
Dude, yeah.
Like it's just unreal to think.
He had to feel proud of himself. He's like going, you know what? I got sent to jail. because
over this because of how good and authentic
how
this
good
film
my
was.
film was. People thought that they
Yeah,
were
that's how
dead.
good my fucking film was, but now I'm in prison for murder.
Yeah,
For
exactly, right?
You know, that's
That
bittersweet.
it's a trip, like, and I know there's a lot of like weird details out there about this whole like the backstory of this and what exactly he was charged with and how long he was in jail, but like just the whole point that it happened in the first place. I know Sam Raimi was brought up on cruelty charges or something like that, or some similar, like not murder, but like some type of charge for Evil Dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I forget what the hell was the charge? Like some
Did
type
she
of
really get molested by that tree? Gotta tell me the
yeah.
truth, man.
You're a deviant motherfucker in a prison.
We get a tree rape scene in every movie except for Army of Darkness, right?
Yeah, I'm a paranormal tree exorcist.
Yeah, that's got to be a very niche career path.
Evil Dead
I only
2
work
kinda
once
did
a
that
year.
tree thing better.
There's
One
like
case a
three
year.
out there. There's three of you out there. It's like Ed Warren and how he was a demonologist, like the only ordained one.
Love Ed Warren.
I don't know how people feel about the Warrens, but they were
Yeah.
to me they were fucking con artists,
Yeah.
like straight up. Might be probably nice people. Elaine seemed sweet in interviews and stuff, but they were fucking absolute con artists. Most of their cases have been debunked. They're famous ones.
You guys watch the documentary on this? Searching for Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah. I saw it last year.
Deodato Holocaust or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's part of that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's
I have that
good.
disc as part of that set from House at the Edge of the Park. It comes with that docuseries. That's great. You can see that on Tubi. It's great.
It's on. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is on. That's where it is. Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
I didn't know.
I like him because the way he talks, it's like he's acting. The way he talks, he's always done that. It was weird. Like he's like, I don't want to talk about that film. You know, it's.
Yeah, it's because he was talked to death to it.
Yeah.
It's like I can understand that. I mean, look at John Carpenter. He doesn't even like talking about his movies anymore. He just likes his music.
Oh, I would love to. I'd probably get bitch slapped for it. I'm like going, I want to talk about Ghosts of Mars. How was that experience for you directing that film and see what he says? Because that's
as long as you don't talk about Halloween. As long as you don't talk about Halloween, he's cool, you know?
Yeah, that's a cool comment from Darren. Darren Fulci was brought up on charges for the scene in Lizard.
Worse than that, he was brought up for charges in, or a little bit in Don't Torture a Duckling. Well, Catholicism stuff and all that shit. Oh, he got.
I knew about Lizard, the dog scene. I didn't know about Duckling.
What happened with Duckling?
He got accused of a lot of stuff, you know, because we know how Duckling is. We know how that film is.
What with the kids and all that bullshit?
Yeah.
Duckling is still. Keith knows this because we talk about
fucking love
every now and then. It's like one of the Fulci films that it just hasn't clicked for me after 3 watches. Like over the years.
It's different. It's a different film, definitely.
Yeah, and it's weird because I haven't seen it off. Maybe I've seen Lizard twice, but I really like Lizard in the Woman's Skin, and that's another early Giallo.
Yeah, it is. Perversion Story is a really good one too from him.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like his Giallo. Yeah, it's something I don't know what it is. I tried. I was gonna try a few weeks ago again, and then like I got distracted video on the Mutilator 2, and I was like, "This ain't." I'm just shutting it off because this ain't happening. I'm distracted.
It's weird. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it just doesn't.
But yet I know the first half hour, 40 minutes of the movie like the back of my hand almost visually because I've seen it a few times and started over after like getting distracted a few times. So like I know the first half hour very well. I know. I don't get it. It's one of those classic films by a director that most people, fans of that director, hold as one of his best. That just hasn't clicked for me yet. And yeah, Brandon, I love Farmiga as an actress, like immensely. I think she is a phenomenal actress.
And her daughter plays in the Nun thing, which I didn't know that was her daughter. I'm like going, wait a minute. I'm like, how good can you play that?
That's her sister.
Oh, is it her sister? I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
it's
how
her
good
younger
can you play
sister.
that to make her like a younger version of her? It's
It's
great.
She's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
hot.
her. She was in American Horror
She is.
Story. Thaisa
She
also.
is.
But Vera Farmiga, I think, is excellent at everything. I love Patrick Wilson too. I don't think he has a lot of range. I think he just plays Patrick Wilson.
He does. He
Pretty
plays
much
those parts he
90%
was
of the
going to
time.
play. Yeah.
The only
He doesn't act
exception
very
really
well.
I have is Hard Candy. I think he does. That's his best
Sheesh.
performance.
Yeah.
Man.
I think that is his best performance by far, and I think that's where he actually gets fully into a different character, and isn't Patrick Wilson like
Not much
playing
of a choice,
himself.
though, you know.
Insidious, I would say, is my favorite from him. There's something
Yeah,
about
the first
Insidious.
Insidious is great.
Like I'm like, whoa, yeah.
I love the first Insidious, and yeah, I agree, Brandon. Like the way that they play off each other in the movies as Ed and Lorraine is great, and that's because it's been exposed that it was in their contract that
Yes.
they were supposed to be shown in a positive light. They couldn't mention anything about the affair that Ed was having with this girl who lived with them for like 30 years. That couldn't be talked about or mentioned in the films. There was that he was abusive.
That he was actually, if he was actually ordained by the Catholic Church as an exorcist, because he says that in the first film.
Yeah,
I'm like, not Catholic, and I find that hard to believe.
Only ordained demonologist, recognized by the church. Something
yeah.
Not ordained, recognized by the Catholic Church.
Recognized by the church, meaning he works with the church.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, so
meaning you call a priest or something, which anyone can do. Which you don't have to be a demonologist. You can get a priest.
That's what I liked about the Pope's Exorcist film, because that was based off an actual person who did that. Based off an actual priest who did exorcisms.
I still haven't seen that one.
It's okay. It's a fun one. Russell Crowe, I like everything he does. It's a fun one, though.
Bone Tomahawk.
Does anybody know if
that's a crazy movie.
Does anybody know if that Cannibal Holocaust documentary, does that come in any physical release besides? I do see that there's a Blu-ray. There is a Blu-ray, but I can only find it on Diabolic DVD. But is it on? Is it in the features on any other release?
No, it's its own thing.
So it looks like only Diabolic DVD is the only site I can buy it from.
It may be an exclusive.
Cannibal Holocaust. It's the newest one.
One guy.
Yeah, I can't find it on any other site besides Diabolic DVD.
And I actually like the fucking script in this movie. Like I like the story to this film.
Me too.
Like I like that I love how all of this is written. Basically, it's not like one of those movies that like I like because of the shock, or like controversy of it. That there are some films that you watch every now and then just for that, but this isn't one of them for me. This is I think is an excellently written movie, and the story is great.
The main actor here, he was
in
Cannibal Holocaust too. What's his name
love again? The guy. I can't remember, but I love him in this.
Isn't he like a former porn star too? I mean,
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
It's funny. It kind of looks like you, Keith. So you could do a remake of this if you wanted to. Like, I'm going to find out what the fuck happened to these people.
Who the blonde guy?
This is a movie that will never get remade.
Yeah.
And if this is a film that'll never be remade, but if it ever was, I would have a huge issue with it. Like that would be my limit. Like there's most movies, even if I consider them like favorite films of mine that they've made remakes of and stuff, it's like, all right, like fine. Like the Thing prequel was hard for me to swallow, and the Thing sequel that's announced, that's kind of, I don't know what to think. It's my favorite movie. That's my favorite movie of all time, The Thing.
Really?
So, yeah, the Carpenter announced the sequel.
Oh, did he? Well, he's going to probably co-producer. He's sure as fucking going to direct it.
Yeah, he better. Because that's the only hope. And I think they have to bring Rob Bottin back. Like, bring him out of reclusion, wherever the fuck he's been. Because he's, like, became, like, a recluse after a while.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an agoraphobic like I am,
Yeah, I know he had some issues, and then he just stopped doing interviews and stuff.
Falls on the skeleton there in the leaves. and he's all peeling all the leeches and maggots off of him. He gets disgusted by it, starts throwing up. He's like, dude.
That's really the nicest way to put it. Yeah, you have issues.
I mean, yeah, you know, I'm the same. I've been through the same thing. So, you know, I got the same issues. We all got the crazy issues.
Oh,
This is-
yeah.
It's a crazy
I'm all
scene.
fucked up. Well, you got issues.
He all has his peace pipe there, all pulling out the shit from his feet. That would annoy the hell out
I
of me.
love how he gives this fucking tribe member cocaine.
Yeah, he gives them
When
cocaine.
it first starts, you
That's
think this is the
hilarious.
film, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Wow.
that's right. He got the rat or
You
whatever
think
those
this
are
is the
called,
film.
lemurs or whatever.
How they start
He's like,
talking
watch
about
this.
it, you know?
Oh yeah.
So you realize that they're looking for this crew, and then you don't realize that they actually work
right there.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
terrible.
mean,
What
like,
is that?
a lot of people get bent out
Yeah,
of shape because of the animal killings, which is kind of
Yeah.
understandable. But you know, like, people claim to like horror movies and stuff. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, a lot of times you're gonna go into a movie not knowing what you're gonna get, and eventually you're gonna come across that shit. My opinion, you probably shouldn't even be dabbling with any of it at all. If it's gonna bend, it's gonna have you all bent out of shape like that. You shouldn't even be watching movies like Insidious either. You shouldn't even be watching any of that shit.
Well, that's right. He blows it in the dude's face.
You're right. Yeah, I
blows it in
agree.
the dude's nose. So he's all
Yeah, I know.
sniffing it and shit, and he's all like, hey.
That's why I love
But
in
you know what's,
Green Inferno when he burns, they get him stoned and shit.
Yeah, get him stoned.
That's
with
funny.
the big dude, with the big nice
Yeah.
guy and stuff like that. They all chain him up and gut him like a fucking pig.
And I
Dude,
love
he's
the look of
alive.
the main dude in Green Inferno
Turkey
with
is
the
on
yellow
there,
face paint and the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
bone and shit. Great design of him. This is a fucked up scene here.
But I think the one movie
Yeah.
though that's like it kind of stands out if you really focus on it is Mountain of the Last Cannibal God. There's
Yeah,
clearly a
I
scene
like
in that
that.
movie where somebody takes a bamboo stick and they take a monkey and they tie it to the stick and they shove it right into the anaconda's face. And it's
Yeah,
like,
I
Jesus.
remember that.
Yes.
Like, that's a little questionable there. Like, you're purposely killing the animal. Like, you know, like it's clearly like you guys are killing the fucking animal. You guys
Yeah.
are not just doing it for a shot and just going to eat it later. You guys are literally signing up to kill that thing. Like, you know?
Well,
Darren
thing
said
with
the documentaries on
Yeah.
the 7 release of House on the Edge of the Park. I think
Yeah.
they said that earlier.
Oh, okay. I still need to get
Searching
that
it?
one, too. So I'll definitely look into
Oh.
that. Thanks, Darren.
right in
I
there.
had no idea what searching was. I knew it had its own release, but I didn't know it.
What? Oh, the movie Searching?
Searching for Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, you're talking about the documentary. So I thought the movie Searching with John Cho. But this whole scene's
So
fucked
going
up.
down-
They
It's
said
really
it's
messed up.
because she did
This
she
is even
fucked
on
some other
Wiki.
dude, right? It's a punishment for adultery. I think they said.
Yep. Yeah, she
It's
put it
taking,
on
big-
like,
the-
It's a big
rock and
stone like
clay.
dildo. Yeah.
Yeah, and just fucking ramming it up her vagina.
There'd be a lot less cheating if this was the penalty in society, wouldn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I know, right? That
It's
shit would
straight
shut
up like-
down immediately.
She's straight
People
up like
think
he's
overnight.
covered in mud already. I mean, they
Overnight,
both
people
are.
would marry their fucking girlfriends, boyfriends, and shit, and they'd be faithful forever. If they saw
You'd be
this.
real careful about who you
That's what's
marry because
happening.
you'd be tied to him
Yeah.
forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna search around for a while.
Well, that's right.
Right.
This is where he's like, praying to his God and
Asking
stuff
her
like that, and he just goes,
Yeah. Striking her head in and stuff. Like the
Just-
effects, I always forget. One of you might know who did the effects for this film. I always forget the effects artist, but it's
the effects
excellent. Like, the effects are so good in this
Aldo
movie.
Gaspari.
What is
Aldo
it?
Gaspari.
Okay, I always forget
And
that.
it was Aldo Gaspari, Nicola Catalini, and Massimo Gastini.
Okay, so yeah, they just did unreal with this movie. Especially it's coming up when that practical effect. They had to recreate that, if I recall correctly, in court,
damn,
right?
She did.
With the girl on the pole, impaled on the pole. I'm pretty sure they had to recreate that effect in court to prove it was an effect, to show how they did it.
Because it looked
Props
so.
to her for it letting him drag her like that. That's a good actress.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, just dragging
Oh
her
yeah.
back.
Well, I don't think that like whatever they like gave these like tribal members for like being in this, I'm sure they Like, we're happy with anything. They'll let them do whatever.
Now you're just gonna ship her down the fucking river.
You know what's messed up about this? It almost looks like it's a golf course. The way that water's at, I mean, shit, dude. It's like the way it's all spread out there at the grass.
See, Darren is saying he's not sure about searching. He said he saw it online, but not sure that one. It has a single release. Searching does.
Yeah, it does, but I can only find it on Diabolic DVD. Nowhere else.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think that one is on anything else. That's what I was thinking, Darren.
But I just ordered the House on the Edge of the Park 4K.
Hell yeah.
I got it for $27, I think it was, which is understandable.
That's good price.
Because it's a 3-disc set. It is a limited edition. It's not going to be around. Well, I mean, a lot of 7 releases that are limited end up hanging around for a while. So who knows how long it'll be around for.
Yeah, the 3 cannibal films that we've mentioned, those are the only really cannibal ones that I've seen and like really remember, like in resident, like, you know, at least had some type of impact on me that I remember them in some way. Is Ferox, Mountain of the Cannibal God, and this.
Like, I'm not really big on the cannibal genre. I think after getting Jungle Holocaust, that might be the 6th one that I have in my collection. But I really only find myself watching Cannibal Holocaust and Ferox. That's about it. They're the only ones I really like going back and watching. The other ones I have, like or Mountain of the Last Cannibal God, it's good. It's just the quality's just not up to par.
It's not like Ferox. But isn't there another? I mean, there's names, all different names, obviously, with all these movies. But there's 2 cannibal films that have this. That are the same movie, but they're always confused, like the titles of them. And I know I think it's Mountain of the Cannibal God with another cannibal film that I can't think of.
See, they're all shooting stuff at him and stuff like that, and it's just coming short.
Yeah.
He's all
naked that's and stuff. DVD right there.
Hey, now. Well, that's a DVD for Blue Underground. Okay.
Yeah, I think I ended up getting this for like $10 like a couple years ago, but I've actually seen this one on the big screen before too.
I would love to see Cannibal Holocaust on the big screen.
But I really think if you're someone that likes Cannibal Holocaust and Ferox and you haven't seen this, you got to see it. It's definitely a good one.
Yeah, well, what, Mountain? Yeah.
Mountain of the Cannibal God. Or it's just Mountain of the Cannibal God.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Men from Deep River is one. Darren's, I've heard him mention that one before.
Yeah, I still need to pick that one up, actually. Like, that's like one of the first cannibal films, I think. So.
Yeah, and I'm talking like just like specifically like Italian 80s, you know, late 70s, 80s cannibal films, because like other cannibal, like Eaten Alive by Toby Hooper.
Yeah, and, Eaten Alive.
Wrong I still need to watch that. And stuff like that. Like there's other cannibal films.
Killer Alligator. Yeah.
Yeah, Alligator.
You know, I'm actually kind of surprised with Eaten Alive. Umberto Lenzi's Eaten Alive, because for me, I don't really like it that much because I feel like the substance of it is just, there's not enough there. It's just very subtle movie for what the subject matter is.
These directors like to compete with each other. It's like what you can do, I can do better type of a scenario.
Well, yeah, they got to that point there from like late 70s to like about 85. It was like, oh, you did that? Well, watch me one up that.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, and all these slew of these movies came out because people were trying to one up each other.
You had like a discount director of another director. Like it would be like Romero with Dawn of the Dead started it all, and then like Fulci was considered like the Italian Romero, and like, then you had Bruno Mattei, which was like considered the discount Fulci, like at the time, and then, so you had like that drizzle effect that went down like through the Italian horror like scene.
Bruno Mattei, he did Absurd, right?
No. D'Amato.
D'Amato. Excuse me. Yeah.
I like
But
him.
Bruno Mattei was like that guy. He was like that director where it was like, oh, we need a director to fill in for this.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get Bruno. Like, he'll do it.
Picasso is the same way. Claudio Picasso is the same way, and they work
If you look
together.
at his filmography, it's like most of his films were like he had to come in and finish something. You know, it wasn't like something he planned out. It's just like he was requested to finish something.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Bava did that often early in his career, going uncredited a lot of the time too.
Now, like movies like Hell of the Living Dead from 1980, it's a zombie film.
Yeah,
really?
Now, what I say that's a good movie? Definitely not. But is that a good guilty pleasure? Yeah, it's a great guilty pleasure. I mean, if you look at all the acting in that movie and Hell of the Living Dead, it's extremely bad except for the zombie kid. Yep. The little zombie kid who starts like eating like the flesh or whatever and looks at the camera lady and shit. Like when you're like, I know when I'm watching that movie, I'm always like, yo, this kid is the best actor in the movie. Like he has the most convincing acting.
It's probably my favorite film that I've seen from Mattei. And I haven't seen too many of his films. I've seen Rats, which is entertaining, and I've seen that one, and maybe like another or two, and that's like basically it. Nightmare City, was that Lenzi or was that Mattei?
Yeah, that's Lenzi.
That's Lenzi. I always confuse Lenzi and Mattei films for some reason.
It's very easy to confuse all those movies. Yeah. It's so easy to confuse them all. Like when I first was getting acquainted with Italian horror, I was like, I really got to the point where I was like, what the fuck? I can't keep up with alternate titles and wrong information and checking cut times and then checking uncut times. I'm just like, I really got to a point where I was like, fuck this Italian shit, dude. I can't keep up with this shit.
It's basically,
like it's so true. It's
like the way I watched it. Yeah, like the way I watched it, the lady in red killed 7 times.
Yeah. Bruno Mattei and Picasso I confuse all the time just because they work together so much.
And like there's been times where like when I was first getting into this stuff, like back when like on YouTube, like people would upload like VHS rips of certain movies and you couldn't find like it was even like impossible to find a physical copy. So I'd be watching some of these movies. And it's, obviously, like, somebody puts the wrong title in there, probably from the wrong information that they found. I'm like, Demon's 3. This isn't Demon's 3. Like, and I'm like, I guess I got to keep doing more research here because I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I was just going to mention that, too, when you were saying how crazy it is to keep track of these movies with just the titles alone that are alternate. Then you have what you're just saying, the movies that were made that were unofficial sequels to like famous American films that like took off in Italy. You have like the House movies that went on to like House 7 or 8 or something like that, and a lot of series like that just kept on going.
Amityville has a lot.
Zombie went on to like Zombie 6 or 7 or like something crazy like this, and they have nothing to do with each other.
The Birds too.
Like just like weird. Like Troll 2 from Fragasso, like not a troll in the fucking movie. They're all goblins, and he just took the name of the troll.
I mean, it's funny with Mikhail Suave's The Church. It was supposed to be the next Demons movie. It was supposed to be Demons 3.
It's like the spiritual successor.
Everything was set up to go that way. But once they started shooting, apparently Mikhail Suave said, you know what? I don't want this to have any relation to the Demons movies. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the script. On the day that we're shooting it, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the script. And that's what he did. And, it still has the reputation of being linked to the Demons movies, but it's just not.
I consider a Demons 3 like Chris said, like a successor, like a spiritual successor to it.
Yara Gentle's in it. I mean,
she's great in it too.
Yeah,
and I just actually was having this conversation on Twitter with somebody on Twitter and Goretta, and she was talking about what happened with this movie, with that movie, and what was she saying? She said that like Lamberto like last minute also went to do like something like television project,
and
then he just like, and like you said, then he just rewrote the script and stuff just in case like Lamberto ended up coming back to Demons while he wanted it to be like something different and not like Demons 3.
Well, they're out.
Yeah,
I wonder if what a Demon 3 from Lamberto would have been like.
But you know what I think's kind of a missed opportunity with the church? They could have made Demons, but in a church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of them being trapped in a movie theater this time, everybody's trapped in the church, and whatever fucking happens from there. But I just like always feel like, man, that could have been interesting to have demons attacking people in a locked up church, like nobody can get out.
We have a question here. Hi, Sheena. How you doing?
Hey, Sheena.
Universal Monsters. Where do we stand with them? I like some Universal Monster films. I'm not huge on movies like horror films pre like 50s. Like there's some classics. Like, Frankenstein is great. Fucking I always love Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was my favorite Universal monster. Dracula, of course, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, of course, are fucking icons.
Black Cat, there's a lot of good ones.
Black Cat, I've seen. Black Cat is great.
Like as far as like the black and white days go with like Universal Monsters, I usually find myself watching those movies when the fall season comes around. When Halloween starts getting closer, like I like to go to like some Universal Monster movies, like the original Dracula or whatever, like something like that. But I will usually find myself watching like some Hammer movies during that time of year, or even like I do like a lot of Vincent Price films. So it's more of like a certain time of year. Like I don't like when I get closer to Halloween, I start feeling the monster movies more, and that's when I like to go back and watch them. But a lot of times with black and white films, I will usually watch them late at night when I can't sleep. I keep the volume very low on it, and I just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. 'Cause that's probably the only time I watch, like the old Universal monster movies and the older classics is in October because they show them on TV. And that's like the only time that I watch actual television is during October because they actually a lot of channels do like a lot of horror films and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the only time I'll catch like one of those movies. I never will throw on an old like 30s film and stuff just randomly to watch.
Yeah,
but I never throw them on. Same with Hammer. I've never been a big Hammer film fan either. Like there's a few of them that I really enjoy, but again, they're ones that I won't throw on often at all.
Yeah. But I mean, there's also times that, like, if you notice with a lot of those older films, some of them will be fairly short.
Yeah.
They'll be around like the hour, 20-minute mark or just a little under it. So, you know, if I ain't got enough time to sit down with like a 2-hour movie, that's when I'll probably throw on a Universal monster film. Like, oh, I only have enough time for this right now.
Yeah.
What's up, Mikey? Mikey's Morgan in the house. Cal in the house. What's up, Cal?
This is a family movie, Mikey. You're right. This is like
it absolutely is. It is
it's educational. You can't lie about that. It's definitely educational.
and they show a documentary in it, so it's semi-educational that way too.
He's having a great time all frolicking in the water with all the naked ladies.
I love that. And just because of the music again.
It's like a
frolicking in the water is just like, it just brings me comfort. Like for some reason.
It is. It's pretty bad.
And then immediately it goes to this scene here, and you see the bodies of the crew and all the clothes, and then and the score changes and the tone just switches immediately.
Oh,
it's so good at doing that. It's just the score for this movie is so it contrasts and juxtaposes so well with the content of the movie. Like probably one of the best examples of that in a horror movie. Of just where the score is so different sounding, like for the most part.
That's where he sees it. Yeah, he sees like the monument with all the skeletons of the crew members on them. Spoiler. Yeah.
Maybe one of you guys can answer this for me. The House on the Edge of the Park. There's an 88 films 4K and then the Severn one. Which one's supposed to be better?
Oh,
You know, I can't answer. I don't get physical
I
media,
can't
so
answer
you got
that
the
either.
script. Okay.
88 Films is a good company. If you want
Yeah,
the
I had
4K
their
of it,
stuff.
Sean,
I just don't know which one's better.
I'd be interested. It's a really good Blu-ray that I have, and Severin does good transfers, so I have no issue with it.
The
I'm
only
not
way
that
I know.
person anyway. But
Yeah.
I would be interested on how that film does look on 4K.
Yeah, the only way I know, like, and familiar with some transfers are because whatever transfers are on Shutter or Prime and stuff like the Bava films on Prime are all the Kino transfers, and they are fucking gorgeous.
Oh,
Like
Blood and
they are
Black Lace
beautiful.
I saw on Prime the first time. Holy shit. That's a great fucking transfer of that film.
It looks so good. All the Kino releases of Bava are
Black
just
Sunday.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best black and white films like ever fucking made.
Oh
Really
yeah,
good.
I said that in my video the other day when I did the Bava thing. I said it's one of the most gorgeous black and white films. Just the way that he filmed black and white even was just so.
He got
The
approached
black
to
is
work
so
on the 70s
dark.
King Kong film, and he refused
Yeah,
it. He suggested it to somebody else. How about that? That's crazy to think. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I can't see him doing that, but
yeah. He just look at all the movies he went uncredited for finishing and shit. And he worked on the I Vampiri, which is like the first Italian horror film, and he finished that movie for whoever the original director was.
he worked he worked with the one director who did, was it the Horrible Dr. Hitchcock? I forget his name now. At the top of my
Oh yeah, I know the film. I can't think. I would never remember the director's name.
And he took credit for a lot of those other films too that director was part of, because he'd finish it off, kind of like what Umberto did with him and stuff like that. Then later on his own.
Oh yeah, like a film I love in a slasher that's great is Nightmare Beach or Welcome to
I fucking love
Spring
Nightmare
Break.
Beach.
And
Yeah,
that's a Lindsay film, like a name.
and he doesn't like that film one bit. Yeah,
because he didn't really finish it, and so he left after a few months or weeks or something like that. Not months, probably weeks. He left like early on in that.
Late great John Saxon playing a cop like he usually plays.
Yep, he's
yeah,
great.
He plays a detective or a cop.
The whole idea of a motorcycle fucking electrocuting people to death.
Oh, that's great.
It's such a great idea. That's such an underrated slasher that most people have.
I love Nightmare Beach,
unless you're like us, like hardcore slasher fans. Like,
yeah, that was my first Kino pickup. That was my first Kino pick, or my first Kino pickup.
That's probably one of, and that's one thing it sucks because now, like when I look back at like my first like 6 months worth of reviews and content and stuff, I can't even like look at it and watch it shit. And that's when I did like early on was I
my
did a
older
lot.
content. I can't do it. It's hard for me to kind of like myself. It's weird.
Yeah, and before I started editing and stuff like that, because I refused to, and now it's like I love doing it for some weird reason. But like I did a lot of my favorite 80s slashers very early on.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, I'm gonna probably definitely do like a revisited video on some of those for sure.
It's like
I've re-upped some of them as like retro ones.
Retro ones, yeah,
like retro reviews.
Special edition of something I did in the past here and just reopen.
Yeah, just to premiere it because that's what I love the most. This premiere. That's why I premiere all my reviews.
Yeah, this is where he sees the film reels. He saw them all hanging on that tree and shit like that. That's pretty good.
I love that.
He's like, oh, wait a minute.
They think it's like their power too. Like they think it's like something.
It's an idol. It's an idol. Yeah.
They think it's like the source of like the crew's power and stuff. Because they don't. How do they even say like how do you explain what a movie is to these people? Like you can't.
To Darren's point, Hitcher in the Dark. I just recently watched that for the Something Freaky coming up right at the end of this month. That is a good one.
I don't remember.
The ending could have been better. I know Lindsay wanted to change the ending. He didn't like the ending but he was forced to do it. It's kind of slow burn though. I wanted to go a little bit faster, but it kind of took its time with it. But it's a fun one for what it is.
Lindsay's the director that with the Italian thing. I definitely want to do more of his movies because he's the director that I've only seen a handful of his films, and a lot of them were like a long time ago before I even knew they were Lenzi films. So I don't even like remember the like names of them. I just know that like I've seen, and because there's so many different names, it's like, did
there's
I
so many
do
different
that or
ones.
not? Like, so he's one I definitely want to like check out a lot more of his films and go through his filmography.
I have that Severance set him and when he was doing stuff with Carol Baker. Orgasmo is great.
Orgasmo, that's one I know and I've seen a few times. Orgasmo,
that one's a crazy one. Knife of Ice is part of that set.
It's trippy as shit. I love it.
That Eyeball's a fun slasher. That might be his best.
Eyeball, I've seen. That's an Eyeball, Orgasmo. Like I said, Nightmare Beach is technically him, but not. It's not a Nightmare City.
So there's been a few.
Ferox, Nightmare City, and that's probably maybe one other or two that I can't remember, but like that's basically it. And he's done a lot.
Yeah, I remember doing a blind buy for Eyeball. Just like I remember like coming across the 88 Films Blu-ray, and then I read the synopsis, and I was like, man, this doesn't look like it could be a Lenzi film. But the more I started to look into his work, he is very versatile. He covers everything, man, like throughout his whole filmography. But I sat down and watched that. I was really surprised with that one. Now, that is definitely one of his better films, Eyeball.
Yeah. Of what I've seen, yeah, for sure. That's one. That Orgasmo, Ferox.
So Sweet
are the ones that really stick out, and I remember, and I've seen like more than once.
The one that Darren's mentioning, Almost Human, I have a trailer of that on a certain release. I forget which one I have. I remember it's like it just plays a bunch of random trailers. It might be an 88 Films release, but it plays that trailer for that movie, Almost Human from '74. But I haven't seen the movie.
Most 88 Films Blu-rays are region free. I know my Eyeball one is. It's got to be. They'll state if it is, but like Amazon don't trust them sometimes when they'll see like B2 region, whatever like that. I'm like, no, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. I got to add that to my list because I have not seen that one. Anyone know what happened to Keith? I'm gonna check.
No, he dropped out.
I saw when he fell out. He's probably having internet connection issues or something.
I know over here in New York, it's been raining. Is it raining like crazy where you are, Sean?
Oh my god, dude! It's fucking monsoon down here.
Yeah, same here in New York. Yeah,
it's dude, I go outside to smoke a cigarette. I have an awning over my head, and it still feels like Twister. It feels like the movie Twister outside right now.
Dude, it's
really windy where I'm at. It's supposed to get rain tomorrow. But
I'm actually surprised my internet's not fucking up.
Me, I Livermore, California.
Okay, Cali.
I was
born in Cali actually, and my dad moved out there I was there for a year, and then they moved back to New York. But I was born in Van Nuys, like outside of
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dirk lived out here for a little bit too when he was younger.
Nice. Yeah, I've never been back, and I definitely want to come out.
Don't need to. Only to visit. You don't want to stay here.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way with not Long Island in New York. Yeah, I'm so sick of New York. I've been here my whole life.
I'm blessed in my town. I still have a comic shop that I've been going to since I was a kid. He'll probably keep that open until he dies. Yeah,
I had one like that, like but he closed it down like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah,
but like he was around for a while. The comic shop near me. I still have a record store, Looney Tunes. That's maybe 15 minutes from me.
Nice.
That still sells like a whole bunch of vinyl and CDs and fucking like all that type of just
old stuff
of yore that we don't have anymore, really.
Yeah,
in most places. I think
we're at the point. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're at the point. Yeah, when they're
it's like they're watching the footage now that they found.
Yeah,
the professor went back to the States and he's watching the footage. But I know, like, when I first was like getting familiar with this movie, I found it very surprising that the guide got killed really fast, and it was like, oh shit, like what are they gonna do now? Like I thought that guy was gonna survive, like Felipe, the guide. I think he gets bit by a poisonous snake or something, and he fucking died.
They cut his leg off, and then
notice he can give Notice she gives two shits about him recording her naked.
Yeah, I
Gives two
know.
shits
Yeah, it's
about it.
great. I
He's like,
remember loving
whatever.
that when I was a teenager and I saw this for the first time. I was like, oh, just
She's like,
walking
F
around.
off.
And I like how
It's fun.
Monroe has like actual morals of this movie. And this movie's a whole great like, and I don't usually get heavy into like social commentary in films unless like it's a movie that's really trying to make a statement. Like that's one of the points of it. Like maybe like Get Out is a more recent example, like from Jordan Peele, like or Romero films and stuff like where it's so heavily prevalent there, some type of commentary. I love the social commentary here on just the media and how they'll fucking play anything. And it doesn't matter who they hurt. Yeah. It doesn't matter who they hurt, who they fuck over. They'll just put on whatever's going to make them the most money.
True. With me, it's Jordan Peele's Us. I really like Us a lot.
I like Us. It's better than Get Out, and Nope didn't work for me much at all. But the only thing with
a lot of people don't like Nope. Yeah,
is the ending explanation for the tethers. I tear that apart in my video on Us. It makes no sense, and I know it's supposed to be allegorically taken and stuff like that, but they establish it as a rule in the movie. Like if they made the tethers like other dimensional beings or something like that, that it would work for me completely.
Yeah,
but the fact that they say that, you know, that there's underground tunnels and stuff, and that these were created by scientists and they've lived down there for generations.
Like everyone has a clone, right?
Yeah,
or everyone has a double. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they established that in like in reality, like that's the reality in the movie.
Yeah.
I have a million questions.
Yeah.
And I just rapid fire them at the end of that video.
I forgot it's the one dude from that Adult Swim show who plays like their buddies, their yuppie buddies. Can they all get killed off and shit?
I used to watch Adult Swim all the time. I still do every now and then, but the shows they have on now, unless they're like, you know, older shows they're replaying.
Yeah.
Hey, Katie. How you doing? Any update on any new update, Katie, on Kyle since the last one that you posted, or no? I'm keeping him in my thoughts.
Yeah, him talking to the parents and people like that. Like, I could give a shit about him.
And one of the parents is like, he hates his son.
Yeah, he's like,
I don't want to talk about my son. Yeah. He's good for nothing.
Yeah, my son was the son of a bitch, and that's it. My son is dead. He walks away.
Like with the other one, he like abandons his family. He has like a wife and a child and shit. And he's like, nah, just gonna do this.
But I like how one of the characters' wives was actually a nun. Like what? Like that dude would not be married to a nun.
It's the woman. Yeah, it's the girl. Yeah, it's her. I think she was with him, like part of that convent.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of nuns, I forgot who did a video or watch along on Psycho 2 like a month or two ago.
I did. You joined me for that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Dude, I forget. I do
mommy issues.
Shit. All right. It was I remember it was someone like in the chat.
It was like back in February, I think, the beginning of February.
After doing that, I wanted to like go back to Psycho 3 because I did a video on that a while back. And then I downloaded like the video again. I downloaded a whole bunch of like pics and shit for it, and then I totally forgot about it. So I do want to do that revisited Psycho 3 like video because
me and Darren plan on doing a slasher stream at the end of this month where we're going to be talking about all four of those films.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
still
got to
do the Psycho 4K set. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the films. Psycho 3 doesn't get talked about enough. That's a slasher, really. That's more slasher than the other ones are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
3.
A lot of people don't like it.
3 is good. I enjoy
3
it.
Is fun.
No, it's nowhere near as good. I mean, 2 is I think is one of the greatest sequels ever made.
I think I ranked that third in my all-time slashers. I think I did because Darren was part of that. So I think I ranked that one third. It seemed to be sequels. Yeah. It seemed to get up there for me as number ones.
Oh yeah, me too. Especially number 2s. I said like
Yeah.
Texas
Like
Chainsaw
Halloween 2, I
2.
like more than the first Halloween. I
See,
just do.
that I can't agree with.
It's definitely hard for me to get into when we're
Halloween
talking
went
about
down for me.
franchises. Like usually by the third movie, I'm dry. I'm done and
Yeah, I
dried
know.
up.
Oh,
I can't do it
You
anymore.
say that on after
Halloween
3.
2 is straight up
say-
slasher, just straight with the
Oh
kills and
yeah.
stuff like that. The
I,
jawbreaker thing
I,
with the kid with the thing in his mouth.
yeah, that's a good one. The thing with 2, like I have nostalgia for all the first 6, and even H2O a little because like H2O was the first one to come in theaters.
CGI
Like,
Max.
when I was a
Max.
big Halloween fan and horror fan, so like I remember H2O. I don't care for it nowadays really, but 2 was one that just went down because I don't like movies that are set in hospitals.
Right, that's right. I forgot about that. You mentioned
Yeah,
that.
for some
Yeah,
reason.
you mentioned
I
that.
don't get it. Like, but like, it's just because I question because I always overthink shit, obviously. So I just question everything. Like, where the fuck are the staff in this hospital?
Yeah, where's the staff in the hospital?
There's no janitor. Like, this is a hospital. A hospital should never look closed. Ever, unless it's a closed down hospital.
It's like in
It's like that movie.
it's like in Cobra where he gets in there.
movies.
He actually gets in there after her. He like poses as a janitor, you know, and gets in there.
Unless it's like if it's a scene in a movie and it's done well, like someone's escaping a hospital or they're breaking into or like you said, disguise. If it's written well, then that's all right. But if it's just like a long scene taking place on a hospital, like floor in a hospital, and someone's getting murdered, and there's hardly lights on, let alone nurses walking around, there's no janitor, there's no staff of any sort that come by for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it's just that's all I can think of, and it takes me right out of it. And so that's my reason, my point of why Halloween 2 has gone down for me over the years. I still have a lot of love for it.
This scene here, you can tell when she gets sick, when she's recording them, like taking apart the turtle, and she like throws up. She says, "Get that camera on my damn face, man."
I think this is the most brutal animal kill in the movie, just because they linger on it for so long.
Yeah, they focus on it a little too much. It really it goes from taking it out of the pond, and then they gut the entire thing, and
they're opening the stomach sack and shit, and like
it's an armored creature, so the shell is part of it, you know. And
I mean they did eat the animal, and so they gave it a try.
Oh, it's all like bubbling and shit. Ugh.
But like, yeah.
But another thing is, like, apparently
they went on for too long, I think, with the turtle.
They all stick the head up on there. They all just go, bleh.
I know.
But they really had to, like, this was overall their only source of eating, because where they were staying at was miles and miles away. And where they were staying at, it wasn't like, hey, you want to go out and go get a bite to eat? No, you're surrounded by jungle. Yeah. So it was like, eat what's offered to you or don't eat at all.
Yeah, eat or die.
That's
what you're going to do, drink the bad water?
Yeah. The cabin fever water. You drink that.
Dude. Darren makes a good one. Visiting hours is a good one. Yeah, I just
visiting hours is good. Visiting hours is one that I can enjoy.
That's a fucked up film.
Yeah.
Michael
we watched that, Sean, didn't we? We watched Visiting Hours. Honestly.
No, I haven't seen that one in years. I don't even own it.
No, no, it was X-Ray. That's what we watched.
Oh, X-Ray.
Yeah, I was going to touch upon that one, actually. The funny thing about that, the whole movie takes place in the hospital, but there's this one floor that's being fumigated. So that's where the killer is, like, residing when he's not killing people. He's like hiding out on fumigated 13th floor that doesn't exist or whatever.
That's why I can enjoy it a bit, I guess, because I mean, even though
that's look, it's an unknown room nobody knows about.
Even though that's ridiculous, because if the hospital, you're fumigating one floor and shit, but you got fumigation and chemicals and shit in the hospital with sick ass patients on levels above and below it. So it's ridiculous, but at least it's an attempt to explain it. Like at least it's an attempt to say, all right, this is how he's avoiding, and he's able to move around this hospital and stuff because there's a floor that no one's on. That I'll accept that. I'll suspend the disbelief.
Yeah, but like movies that completely take place in a hospital tend to not be fully effective. They have their moments, but as a whole, you can start to see where things are just kind of not adding up right, like the logic of it. But I mean, yeah, I can't really say that there's many films that take place in the hospitals from front to back that I can say that are really good movies. But like, you know, it's another one that has a lot of hospital scenes, which is a bad movie anyway on its own. Without that, is Maniac Cop 3. There's a lot of hospital scenes in that one.
I haven't seen Maniac Cop 3 in forever. I love
Like,
the first.
even had Robert Forrester playing a doctor at one point. I think he ends up being electrocuted.
I love.
Yeah, I think he gets like electrocuted or something in the hospital.
Oh, cool.
But like that's another one in the hospital where all the lights are out. It's all dark in there. Like, oh yeah, everybody just works in the dark, right? Like.
Thanks, Joe. Take care, buddy. Have a good sleep. Have a good
That's
night.
right. Got bit by a snake or something.
Yeah, Felipe, not Felipe. He got bit by the snake.
And they kill a snake in Friday the 13th.
You think they're fucked and shit?
Yeah.
Without their guide and shit like that, but like, nah.
Oh yeah, because they say, right, they establish that they've done like documentaries and like war.
Yeah, they show their past stuff before.
Yeah,
like,
footage. They show
like executions.
That's
like
right. Yeah, this is when they show the TV exec. They show Monroe, the past documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's rough? I actually watched recently is Who Can Kill a Child, and I feel like the most rough thing about it is the opening credits are so long, but it's all Holocaust footage. It's all Jews being thrown in the pits and everything. It's just like, by the time you get through the credits, you're like, fuck, I'm exhausted already. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, oh man, I'm depressed 3 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, like, just those opening credits will fucking put you in a depressive tailspin, like, right away.
See, that's a good example of what, like, versus this film. Because like the opening few minutes with the score and stuff of this movie is fantastic and makes you just feel like blissful almost. So at least it eases you in. Cannibal Holocaust.
But like another thing with Who Can Kill a Child, those opening credits have a kid singing a lullaby over it. So it's a little kid singing a lullaby with Holocaust footage with dead Jews being thrown in the pits. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
So that's a video nasty. Probably that's been banned in like every country except for here.
I think it does say that. I think the Blu-ray says it's been banned in over 32 countries or something like that.
Ooh.
And I mean, they got balls to be going in this jungle and shit. Because I sure as fuck wouldn't go there.
I'd be worried about wildcats and poisonous insects. I'd be looking over my damn shoulder, checking my damn shirt all the time.
I'd be hitting myself. I'd be like going, get away from me.
I would not be able to sleep. Because I would be thinking insect snake is going to bite my ass and I'm going to die in my sleep.
Or then I'd be worrying about if my batteries are going to be working in my flashlight when the sun goes down. That's one thing I'd be worried about is my flashlight.
First of all, if I was in the jungle, like if just poof, I was there, the first thing I'd do is buy a ticket out the jungle immediately because my ass would never be in the jungle like this. I'd never like camping. I think I went camping maybe once in my life. Never liked camping for the same fucking reason.
I used to go camping all the time as a kid. As a kid, you kind of don't care. As you get older, you're like going, damn, like wood wasps. Wood wasps are about this big.
Yeah.
That's why they call them wood wasps, because their stingers can pierce through wood. They're that strong.
And then, like, I'm an alien and believer and cryptid and shit. You don't know what the fuck's out there, yo. Like, I hate just like sleeping, laying my head down in the middle of a goddamn forest. Like,
Bigfoot, you see this huge monster walking past you. You're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, there's no way in hell I would go in there. My ex-girlfriend wanted to go camping. I said, "There's no way."
No way.
I mean, probably one reason she's an ex, but like I said, I'm not going camping. But I do not like it. But I do. My family has a house upstate, like a log cabin
Log
near
cabin.
where my daughter lives, and it's in the middle of the woods. It's in the middle of nowhere, with an awesome fucking river, like in a slope with a river, like Salmon River. It's called because it's the second biggest for salmon fishing next to Alaska. And
Don't help that monkey's head.
that's
They're just
beautiful
like,
up
nope,
there.
whack.
Oh yeah, the monkey's just sliced off the top of his head.
Monkey
I
brains.
think it's kind of crazy though. The guy that cut off the head, you could tell he's experienced. He cut it where it was supposed to be cut between the top of the skull and the jaw. Like he just, it's like it's not his first rodeo. It's like he cuts these things up every day.
He's a monkey butcher by trade. He's another very niche career path he chose, like you, Sean.
It's like in Faces of Death. It's monkey brains or whatever. They show the head up there with
Faces of Death is
chopped off.
Yeah, I remember that scene. There's like a restaurant and everything, and like you're sitting at the table, and they put the monkey in the middle, and the head's peeking out. You just sit there and smash its head. Like, what the fuck?
Isn't there a bunch of those?
Yeah, there's like over 5, I think, something like that.
The first one's the best.
I've seen random one. I've seen the first one. I know that. I don't really remember any of them. That might be fun to revisit those, actually.
Some other stuff is not. That's the thing.
That might be a fun, weird series to go through at some point.
Faces of Death, God. Yeah, like you say, you have to go through them all.
I just remember seeing them and being like, all right, the first one was kind of interesting, but as you get through like 2 and 3, you're like, all right, whatever. Like I'm good with the first one.
Yeah, it gets old.
I'd rather go watch a true crime series or something. You know, like what was it though?
Just like
West Memphis 3 or whatever they were called. Those people that like butchered that person. Satanic Panic or something. I think it was at HBO or Showtime did like a mini series on it.
Yeah, they showed all that footage of those dead kids in the fucking forest like that, all mutilated. I was like, wow, they're actually showing these bodies on TV and shit.
Wow.
Right, dude, isn't it crazy nowadays? Like with documentaries and stuff, they show everything now. Like back, like when I was growing up and shit, like in the '90s and stuff, there were documentaries and stuff. But like now, you see like you said, they show everything. They just show dead kids, people, fucking drug documentaries, people shooting up right on camera and shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You never saw that in the 90s.
Like,
you weren't seeing stuff like that often in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff.
Yeah.
Like what I don't get is like when you watch like a crime story now, like sometimes I'll see like, you know, they'll be interviewing the family and then it cuts to a scene where it's the autopsy and it's the dead person's face. It's like, why do you have the family in the documentary with the dead relative on the autopsy? It's just like, what are you doing? It's just kind of fucked up.
The pig on the pole.
Yeah, it's a perfect callback to the social commentary in this movie. How the fucking media, whatever.
I mean, I don't mind seeing the graphic shit. Honestly, I'd rather see the graphic shit. I just think it's kind of messed up that it's like, oh, we're interviewing the family. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the victim's autopsy photos.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
Well, they rile them all up and shit like that, and they burn the fucking houses.
Everyone knows I got a dark sense of humor and shit, but yeah, I think that's fucked up.
So do I. I have a twist. Damn, I'm surprised people still like me, dude. I have a fucked up sense of humor. Like, I love Anthony Jeselnik as a comedian.
Dude, he's my second favorite comedian. He's my second favorite comedian.
Dude, he gets fucking dark.
He's my second. I saw him live last year.
Oh, nice.
It was fucking spectacular.
You know what the worst thing you can do? You go into a crowd of people and you drop a baby. That's the only thing you have to do.
Dude, he's so great. I know, like all 3 of his specials, like just every joke to him. Like I think
Dinner with Nero was the first one I watched from him, and that's just great opening act. I'm like, that's when I knew what I was in for. I'm like going, oh, oh, he's this type of person. Okay.
I knew him as the on the roast for Comedy Central is how I got introduced when he took over after Greg Giraldo died, which Greg Giraldo is another phenomenon. I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan too.
Yeah.
But Carlin is my favorite. I think he's the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah.
But living today is Doug Stanhope is my favorite, and then Anthony Jeselnik. Mitch Hedberg, Bill Hicks, they were both the geniuses who were gone too soon.
Hicks was very good. Like,
yeah, Hicks was great, and Hedberg was a fucking masterpiece. Was a masterpiece. Was a fucking just master. He was a genius.
It's hard to do. It's not easy to make people laugh. I mean, that's
yeah.
Norm Macdowell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dirty Work.
I love Dirty for Work. It's such a great movie. With who the fuck? Who on from Howard? Artie Lang. Artie Lang, right?
Yeah, Artie Lang.
Yeah, that's right. That's a great movie. I love Norm Macdonald. I think he was the best Weekend Update host for SNL.
Oh God, yeah.
By
he
far.
played Death and Family Guy. I thought he was perfect for that role.
Yep. Did you see the roast of Bob Saget? And
I did.
Yeah, he did that. He did his whole routine, and it was just like the nicest jokes ever.
Yeah.
This man is for the birds. Yeah, that's hilarious.
I don't understand the burning of the cannibals. Why didn't they just run back out of the hut when it was burning? There's a wide open exit right there. No, that's sitting here and cry, and we're gonna die now. Like,
it's almost like
we can't get out of here. There's this 6-foot fucking exit right here. No, I'm not just gonna stay in here and burn with my tribe.
It's like
I've never noticed that actually. Yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
It's almost like an equivalent to what they did with Apocalypse Now during that time of Vietnam and stuff like that. When soldiers did do that, they did go through towns and they did burn the huts down. Pretty bad shit. And like I think that was kind of his Deodato's like kind of offering to that, saying, yeah, this is how bad we can be in these conditions and shit like that. This is how savage we can become.
Yeah.
Like
I
this
mean,
shit right here.
They used to, like you said, like certain civilizations shit used to go look at the Iron Maiden song, "Run to the Hills." You know,
run to the hills. Oh God,
killing the men. Like that's what they did back
then. Chasing them Redskins back to their holes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Maiden fan. I know how to play every song by Maiden. Both
Number of the Beast. I have
from their first album to Seventh Son at least.
Oh, Seventh Son, Power Slave.
Power Slave is my favorite song by Maiden, and it's my favorite album by Maiden.
Yeah, Last Flight of Icarus, and
Flash
of the Blade, and
Flash of the Blade is great and phenomenal. I love that Argento used that song.
Keith watched that last night. Yeah, that's a.
I'll see if I remember. That's it, right? Yeah. I haven't played that song
good. Yeah, that's very good.
Probably. I haven't played
that's
that.
That's a great riff. That's a great riff. That's like.
Oh yeah, all of their riffs. They were just excellent at writing that. They still are. They're a band that I love their music to this day. Like all their newer albums and stuff. I still love all their stuff.
Did a Wicker Man song too.
Yeah, the Wicker Man. They're just fucking here.
Twirling around.
He's filming them. He's filming them. That's funny.
Because he wants a piece.
This girl had no issues being naked on camera.
Because he wants a piece of her. The blonde dumbass wants a piece of her. And fuck no. She had to be loaded up to do it. Probably she's all sitting there all limp anyway. So
Kind of like Felissa, not Felissa Rose, but the person who stood in for Felissa at the sleepaway camp had to like drink like at least a few drinks before he stood in there with his cock out.
That face, it's like, dude. It's
like, I know, yeah.
It'll live there forever.
Imagine being famous for your cock, like, but not in porn. Like that guy is just like people who know that ending and stuff like and watch that movie all the time. Like that guy's probably sitting somewhere like That's me.
That's
my
me.
dick hanging out there.
Me.
And my dick is famous in horror. Like, one of the most crazy endings ever.
It's funny. He's all talking to this reporter chick or whatever, like near where a child's playing with all these pigeons.
Yeah,
Like
I
going,
love.
that's her son, I think.
I love the names of the tribes too. The Yakumo and the Yokomono or Yokonono.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah,
Yokomono.
These are classic, typical dubbed voices too of some of these people. You can I recognize quite a few of them. I mean,
Well, I can tell you right now, the guy doing this voice did the same voice for the New York Ripper, City of the Living Dead. It's the same voice throughout. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand why any of these people that did the dubbing didn't even consider for a minute that, you know, maybe you think people might catch on that this is the same guy. Like,
I know. I
they won't
changed my
catch
voice a
on.
little bit. Change it.
Your Vice, he's Luigi Postilli's character in Your Vice. I mean, he's a dick in that film. He's a piece of shit. Like,
that's probably my favorite Martino film with like Torso.
That's my favorite Black Cat ending. I like that more than the Black Cat. I like that ending more for that one than I do the Black Cat ending. It kind of suits it better.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the cat happens to be named Satan, so why not? You know?
Great touch for the name. I love this.
Oh, man. Dude, that dead tribe member that's like diseased and sitting in the brush and everything, like that looks like a legit diseased person.
Yeah, he's dying.
So
I was just gonna say the same thing because it popped on the screen. I was like, "Yo, it looked so realistic."
It almost looks like they were put in the oven with pizza toppings on them. They're like, "We're gonna cook this person. We're gonna cook them with pizza sauce."
That's good makeup and practical effects for that shit. That's pretty.
I know you can see that you can see the victim is still breathing too. Like they're sitting there suffering, and they're just sitting there like, you know what? That's not ask her if she needs help. That's film her.
This whole scene is crazy.
But they are explaining how the tribe lives and everything. If you're diseased, you're immediately shunned from the tribe.
Yeah, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's like
this whole scene with the pregnant chick is fucked.
No, don't they take the baby and stuff it in the sand?
Yeah,
they do. Mud. They do because it's gone. It's already dead.
I think I'm a little ahead. What's your timestamp? I'm a little ahead of you guys.
That always happens, man. I'm at 1:15.
It says they're coming up on her, having the ceremony, the pregnant lady.
Okay, yeah.
I'm on 1:15 and 15 seconds.
All right, cool. Yeah, I hear the score.
Yeah.
You know, apparently there's a lot of people that are fans of horror. And when they went and got married, they actually decided that we want our main song to be this theme song. Like people will have this at their weddings, and it's very fitting. Like when you listen to it, like the main theme song, when you listen to it without the movie, it's beautiful music. It could fit in for like a wedding, but when you look at it in reality from what it's from, it's like ugh.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it works so well. It's just because the music is so optimistic and beautiful and shit versus the disturbing evil content inside the movie. It's like such a great contrast.
Like I've listened to the soundtrack like all the way through so many times, and I just love how you get like one beautiful song and then you get one grim song.
Yeah.
Then you get one that's kind of very nice and classical, and then here goes this grim shit.
I love the whole score and I listen to it all the time too.
Like that's another reason why I bought this Blu-ray.
The one that was just playing with the violence with the pregnant woman. I just did the cover the other night. I was fucking around on the keyboard and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's how it goes." And I said, "I might as well just record that." Love
like
that thing.
I remember when Grindhouse released this Blu-ray, I was like, "Do I really need Cannibal Holocaust on fucking Blu-ray? Do I really need clarity?
Yes.
Do I need to really do I need a better looking print of this movie?" But when I saw that they had the soundtrack disc in this, I was like, "Oh, I'm buying it. I need that soundtrack disc."
That would be an instant buy for me too.
I think Ferox has a soundtrack to it too.
Yeah, it does.
I don't
Actually, I
remember
think all the Grindhouse titles do. All the Grindhouse releasing titles have soundtracks, but
It's like
you
the
know,
way
it's
Blue Underground used to do it.
yeah, I don't know why. Why did they stop doing that, man? Like they should have kept going with those limited editions with the lenticular slips, and then go figure they released Vigilante, right? I'm like, oh great, that's gonna have a soundtrack disc. No soundtrack disc.
Oh wow!
Like fuck, man.
They just,
That's another really good soundtrack. Vigilante, that's got a really good theme song too.
I wonder if I'm ever gonna like down the road that I haven't been using it as much, but I use every now and then Grindhouse releasing old intro logo music for like intro.
Oh, I love that now. Feature presentation.
I fucking love it. I use it as intros to videos all the time, but I speed it up a little bit. But even like when I first started using it, I just didn't speed it up at all, and so I never got any copyright issues. But like watch like down the road, like Grindhouse sues me. Some shit.
Yeah.
Adam
Copeland did it when he went back to AEW wrestling for his intro video. The whole arena goes black, and you see our feature presentation. Then you hear the song from Alter Bridge, and you're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I just use the music. I wouldn't go as far as using the whole logo with the video, because then you're using their like entire intro.
Or what is it for like the theaters and stuff like that? It's like,
music,
get some popcorn, get a drink.
Yeah, and it's an old jazz tune. So like that's why it's like kind of safe in that way, because they've just like sampled an old jazz tune for it. I'm pretty sure like the copyright for that tune is still owned by.
Oh yeah, YouTube would be on
that dude
on your ass in a second.
Oh no, I've never had an issue with it. Never had a copyright claim even for using it.
You know how to do a lot of your stuff yourself too, and that helps a lot. You have that talent, and you can be like, "Cool, I can just be like,
just throw it in there." Then if I, like I said, I'll just speed it. I speed it up. That way, it just fucks with because I know that the program.
Here they go. This is where they start going at it with this one chick right here, and then all of a sudden the girl has a problem with it. The girlfriend has a problem with her. Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of crazy how like this wasn't their plan really. Their plan was to get footage and interviews of cannibals and whatever info they could collect, and then it just turns into let's rape the natives.
Yeah,
let's rape and abuse the natives.
Like when you do in the store and you see the person in the grass there right across from her, they don't see it, but the cameraman does. She's like, turn that camera off. What are you doing? Do something about it. It's like, why don't you do something about it?
Yeah.
If I was with them, I would have been like, all right, I got to go home now. Time to go home.
Back to the plane.
Right? It's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I quit. I'm not getting
all
involved
in the mud and shit like that.
Are you serious?
All that dirty shit and stuff like that, and you're doing that, all getting all muddied up and crap. It's like,
I know,
dude.
right, man.
It just makes me think of
the girl earlier on the beach with the ritual.
Shut up.
Them rolling around like that just makes me think of malaria. Like
that's exactly, or something else that makes your wee fall off.
Yeah, all right, instantly.
Like you guys are rolling around and God knows what, and I'm sure there's vicious mosquitoes all over the place, spreading malaria all over the place.
He straight up puts his hand in her face to get her out of the way, and then she starts beating on the dude, and he just gets her the fuck off of him.
I mean, you don't have a healthy relationship when you got to beat your boyfriend to get off raping a woman. That's not a healthy relationship in any way.
Yeah, you had no issue when he was all effing you in front of all those people, huh?
Yeah, so, I know. I think she was. I think
there's nothing degrading about that.
If they survived this, they wouldn't have lasted after this trip. I don't think.
I think they'd be in the. I think they'd be in the hospital in a comatose or something. In a coma.
Yeah, I think they would have broken up.
Yeah.
Apparently, Deodato, there was not one day of filming where he was satisfied with Alan's acting. It was every day he was going and cursing at him. all right, action, roll film. And he'd be like, not even 5 seconds into it, he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like yelling at him and shit.
That's how they are.
This scene
How
is
those directors
infamous.
are.
Man.
Yeah.
This scene.
They
is
always
just
have.
infamous.
This is
whole
messed
shot.
up here.
Now they had her sit on a bicycle seat, like something like they sanded
Oh!
down a bicycle seat, and that's how she's sitting there. Then they had the prosthetic. She had like a piece of wood out the mouth, and put some prosthetic to make the holes.
This is great. He's all smiling. Then he notices the camera's on. He's like, "Oh, the horror! Who could do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, apparently, this is also another scene where Deodato is like, "You fucked it up."
I'm sure. Right?
But there's even interviews with the guy who plays Alan, and he even explains it. He's like, there was not one day that I was not yelled at. Every time I was told roll film action, I was constantly being yelled at from the director. He was yelling at me all day long, telling me I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right. And apparently that actor was a fill-in. The guy that they were supposed to really, take that role decided to bail out, and they already fit him for boots and clothing and everything. So that guy who's playing Alan is wearing boots that don't fit him, clothes that don't fit him, and everything. But he was the only guy willing to get on a plane and come down to them and fill in for the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, it's like Deodato just had to put up with him.
Yeah, but Deodato, man, he was fucking like. I'm surprised Deodato actually literally didn't kill the guy over the being so bad at acting.
This is where the shit hits the fan right here.
Yeah.
This is where they're fucked. I mean, they're
now. A question: what do you guys? Who killed that tribal member, the girl on the pole?
That's a good question. I never thought of that really, because she was just there.
Probably the natives. Probably other tribe members is the only thing I could think of.
I've heard theories on it, and that's one, and that's what I kind of think is one of the tribe members. And then the other tribe that she belonged to, that's why they take their revenge on them, because they think that they're responsible.
Dead. Oh, that's right. They just show him right there. He's dead.
But I've heard a theory that Alan and the crew killed the girl. And just didn't.
But why wouldn't they show that though?
I know. That's why it doesn't really hold water. That theory.
I don't think there's a whole lot of thinking into it. Like I don't think you have to go that deep into it. I know some people to. Some people like to have fun with that, but I mean, like going back to the scene when you had that cannibal with that girl in the boat, and he takes her and starts raping her. He kills her afterwards. So that's probably what they did with her. They probably raped her out of her goddamn mind, and they probably killed her, and then they rammed a pole up her ass throughout her mouth.
The way you said that is so funny.
So he's already dead, and they chopped his penis off, or they saw it off.
Yeah, this sucks, man. Imagine having your dick cut off. Nah.
Well, I think he was already dead. But
dude, that's why I had trouble watching the original I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah.
Doesn't Cannibal Ferox, the guy gets his dick cut off?
Well, he's alive. And that's more.
But that's why in I Spit on Your Grave, when that girl cuts that guy's dick off in the bathtub, you don't see it. But you could just feel it. Like, it's under the water, it's under the bubbles. You can't see it, but you just like, oh, man, I think I can feel that right now.
Just chopped him up into little pieces and shit.
Yeah, man.
I love how efficient the cannibals are. They're so good and experienced at killing people. Dude, they're gutting this guy in under 5 minutes, and they're getting all the important parts out of the way.
They're all working together, like they got assignments and stuff.
Yeah, one guy.
They all got positions that they play every time they do this. All right, you guys are the grabbers. You move the half torso of the body after we got him. Jesus. All right, you guys over here. You're in charge of the intestines and shit. Get that together for dinner later. All right, you preserve the organs. You're an organ ripper. And you're an organ biter. Exactly.
You're going to try the organ first.
All right, break.
Imagine if this wasn't done on shaky cam, what it would look like. Or just a little bit more steady wise. I think it'd be more disturbing. Really, this is disturbing enough.
Yeah.
Just them performing everything, just doing it is crazy.
All that effects work. Just looks like
Oh yeah, they put the head up on a
realistic.
stake. They're like all
Yeah.
like this, just put it up there.
I love how they don't
Cannibals
even
are celebrating. Like, looks like they just won the Super Bowl of killing people.
It's a
I love how
ceremony.
we're making. I think we might be the first people ever to make football analogies and shit to Cannibal Holocaust and people being ripped apart.
Goal,
Super
Football
Bowl of killing
positions.
humans.
touchdown.
Football positions assigned to cannibals and Cannibal Holocaust. I think it's the first ever conversation.
Quarterback. is
That'd be
the one
funny if, like, the
that-
camera cut away for a second and it comes back and there's already a little hut made out of people's bones.
Yeah,
It's like that fast. Like,
Yeah, they just ate it that fast.
yeah, they ate everything that
That's how
fast. They made a little
hungry they
hut out
are.
of someone's bones.
That's how hungry they are. Are you kidding? They never get 4 like pieces of white meat wander to their jungle. This is like fucking like the second coming of Christ for them. This meal.
And now the
Hello,
effect is
everybody.
taking on the consumers.
And I love how they.
Checking on to see
I
if
love
they're
how they don't
watching it.
finish watching it. I love how they can't even finish watching the footage.
Yeah.
They
Well, I
just
think
turn-
what happens is the tape runs out and they still have another reel and they're like, nah, this is enough. We've seen
you're
enough
right.
here.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
That's it.
we're
And then the
good.
guy says burn them. The guy says to burn them all.
Yeah.
Oh, the
He's
flare
shooting
gun.
a flare gun.
Yeah,
You don't see,
That's smart. Shoot a
don't see
flare
one
gun
of
and
them get
a bunch
killed.
of trees.
we don't see one of them die on the camera. I think it's Alan, right? We just see his head fall in front of the camera.
he does.
Yeah.
We see
But, like,
him
his eyes are open, so you can tell he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't see him getting ripped apart or eaten. It ends right there.
Nah,
Like, when he
nah,
falls.
you're right.
The one with the one blonde, like you say, you see him up there on that hill, wide open in his gun jams. So
You'd,
Then all
I'd
of a
be,
sudden,
I'm
gone.
surprised that they like don't run like hell as soon as the flare gun or any gun goes off,
I'm just getting the fuck out of there. Oh,
and
this is
they
where
still
grab
go
my
and,
ass.
and kill them and like overpower them because they have no idea what a gun is and shit.
Hell, have
They
her
showed
Well,
it
it
to
looks like
him
the
earlier.
flare gun kind of spooked them for a second, and then they like kind of go back, and then they all come back again. Oh, everything's fine. Let's
Yeah.
go back in again.
Now they're raping Faye.
Yeah, they're like, uh-oh.
Now, if I was that cameraman, I'd be like, let me put this on the ground and get the fuck out of here.
I'd be like, yo, this is like a snuff film for sure. Like, what am I filming right now? What project am I on?
But I see Darren's talking about some Deodato films. He's mentioning Phantom of Death. But I mean, he's also mentioning The Washing Machine. I haven't seen that one, but I've seen some art posters out there for The Washing Machine and the whole concept of it. I do want to see it, but it looks like a very bad movie.
I've heard of Phantom of
I
Death.
think I've
because of
seen
why I started
Phantom of
watching.
Death just because of Donald Pleasance, but I don't remember anything for. I know I haven't seen The Washing Machine.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I would like to see both of them eventually.
Yeah, I would have to definitely want to rewatch Phantom of Death.
You hear that theme, the boo, boo,
New York Ripper has such a great kill with the fucking nipple slit and the eye slit. That's such a fucking gnarly kill.
the glass, the shattered glass bottle
Yeah,
in the dressing room. You hear the quack, 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 quack.
I love, dude, the whole idea to have that killer quack like a duck. Just shows fucking Fulci's weird ass sense of humor.
Fucking
You know,
love it.
honestly, like that's like one of the reasons why I don't like New York Ripper that much. By the time I get to the end of the movie, I'm like, I'm so tired of hearing this duck voice, man.
I
It's
get
so-
it. I get that.
It's
I
a
can see
fucked
that.
up ending. That is a fucked up
Oh
ending.
yeah,
Dude, that's depressing. It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
yeah. You best believe one of those kills are gonna be in the kill video. I'll be working on tomorrow. Heading
Hell
upstate.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Sean. I didn't tell you. I'll text you afterwards. But I want to hear some of your favorite horror kills because I'm doing a video on top horror kills in horror.
Yeah, I would have to think about that. There's so many of them, man.
Yeah, I got all the clips downloaded and shit, and it's recorded. I just got to edit it. So I'm going upstate tomorrow with my family to see my daughter upstate for the weekend.
Nice.
So in the car, I'll try to
It's
edit,
good you
get
doing
it
that.
done. Yeah, I'll try to while I'm not driving, take it over to drive.
Part 5 where he takes the flare.
I wonder if they
Part 5
keep
when he
these
takes the flare and puts
sticks.
it in the dude's mouth.
Hey May,
Hey,
how are you,
man.
May? I'm sad you missed this one, May.
Oh, this is a great family film, man. You'll love it a lot.
No, you have no idea, Chris. When May first came around the community, the films that I was showing her and that she was watching streams and watch-alongs for, like, was Deodato's Absurd was one of the first ones.
Absurd.
Laid to Rest was another one, and so then shortly after she found Keith's channel and Sean decided Keith was, and you guys were showing her the most fucked up movies. Like, what an introduction to horror May got. She got like a crash course, like off the bat. Yeah, this is where there's cuts with him.
They're like, we're done.
He just his eyes do close, so yeah, he's dead. They just don't show him ripped apart.
Well,
I love how the guy gets it up and he just leaves. So this guy, without saying a fucking word,
he's just
he says burn him and leaves.
Apparently, Cauldron Films is releasing Phantom of Death on Blu-ray in July.
Nice.
I think I might try to get that.
That through Diabolic Son, or?
I just found it on Blu-ray.com real quick. It just says Standard Edition, Phantom of Death. But with a lot of Cauldron releases, they do seem like there's like exclusive slipcovers of some sites or something like that sometimes. So I would assume that there's probably going to be an exclusive out there.
Yeah, City of the Living Dead is one of them, man. That sucker sold out quick.
City of the Living Dead has one of the greatest endings ever.
Whoa. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a good one. The child wasn't running towards her and stuff like that.
I mean, I when I say like ending, I mean like I did a video recently on like the top endings, and like the last, some of them were picked just for like the ending, like scene itself, but a lot of them were like the last 15-20 minutes of a movie. And like the whole scene, like once they enter the crypt of Father Thomas in City of the Living Dead to the end of the film is just fucking masterful in every way. I can watch
George.
I can watch. Yeah, I love Christopher George.
Whole maggot scene in the house where they're literally blowing those.
Blowing maggots, thousands, probably a million, probably. And then someone put, and they think like there's been
it was George.
Over the years.
George
that's what I always thought too. That's always been the biggest theory, is that it was Christopher George. Because he had friction with Fulci on set.
Fulci had an issue with him smoking in the church.
Yeah,
he's like, why you smoke a cigar in the church and shit like that? And then he put supposedly put maggots where his pipe was at, where Fulci's pipe was at, and all this shit too. So it's like, damn, that's hella me.
Apparently, there was some scenes with Christopher George where they were like, "We don't want you smoking a cigar right now," and he said, "If I can't have a cigar in this scene, I'm not doing any of the movie." And they were like, "Fucking give him the cigar, man!" Like, oh my god! Like, how the hell is a cigar a make or break situation for you there?
Christopher George, I love how he always has a cigar in his mouth and in movies, and it's never lit. It's never lit.
On it.
Pieces. He's like, I need a light.
Yeah, they make a joke of it twice in pieces. They make 2 jokes about it. And the detective, his partner, says, "Quit."
He says,
and then another time he says another joke about him not having a light or something. And it's everything. Graduation day, he's got a fucking cigar in his mouth.
Does he really? I forgot about that. I actually really like Graduation Day.
I'm mixed on that one. I've seen it a decent amount of times. It has some cool stuff. I like the whole like psycho vibe near the end.
Yeah, see, I never got into that. It's too goofy for me. It's just
there's like
the creepy teacher with the student and stuff like that.
Too many
grade or whatever. The music.
It's got good kills in it, but to take it on a level of like a Friday the 13th slasher, it's like it just doesn't deliver, man.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I forgot how it went. on my, like, when I did a video and rewatched it last. I think it stayed the same pretty much, or it went down even. The kills aren't even that great. There's like maybe 2 kills that are good.
It's definitely a tropey. It's definitely a tropey type film.
Yeah, I like the main chick, the main girl though, who comes back from the army or navy.
Oh yeah, from army and shit like that. Yeah,
yeah, I like her.
Like a piece of shit, doesn't care. Like
yeah, and how she immediately almost gets like molested in the car when she gets the ride in the beginning. So like, there are scenes and memorable stuff about that movie that like I can recall easily. So at least like it definitely has some qualities I like, but it's not a. I don't think it's too great of a slasher from the 80s, like, especially.
Definitely.
Like don't go in the house. I adore.
Yeah, that's a really good one, especially because it's a slasher, but instead of having a knife, we got a blowtorch.
Hey, now.
Exactly. That it's just not. It's like a slasher, and always gets thrown in the slasher category, and I consider it one. But just the way he kills the women in that movie, and it's very heavily Psycho vibes in that too, and inspired by Psycho. But it works very well, and it's its own thing. And that I think that movie is just like excellent. I love Don't Go in the House. I always have to include that movie when talking about 80s slashers, even though it was 79. Same with Tourist Trap. It's in 79.
That was a different time for slashers. They're more grittier, and it shows it from the killer's point of view. You never saw that again after a certain amount of time. It just never happened.
Yeah, and it was a big thing, I think, was because of Carpenter's influence on, Friday the 13th, and then once Jason and Friday the 13th blew up, and then it was all POV killers from the killers and stuff like that, and just they weren't character studies.
Don't go in the house, flipping nightmare in a damaged brain. Stuff like that,
dude. Absurd too. Like
absurd.
Maniac. Those are all like more character studies to me than slasher films.
Don't answer the phone.
Yeah, I haven't seen that forever. That don't go in the woods alone. I never really cared for that one. That's a very low budget one.
I got it. I still need to watch it. The Forest. That's supposed to be another one that's kind of interesting.
Man, so you guys, it's my 20th.
Yeah, I do.
Movie of all time, man.
I do, man. I do.
It is number 25 on my top 40.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of this one, but I like what's saying that though. Like I'm not a big fan of the subgenre of cannibalism. I just don't really.
It's not for everybody.
Like this is the only cannibal film that I watch.
This would be the end all be all really for
every year, multiple times probably. I watch this film maybe twice a year, maybe.
But I mean, like I think Cannibal Holocaust has opened me up. It's definitely I mean, Cannibal Holocaust has opened me up to the rest of the films. It's just that the ones I've seen, they just don't match up to it. Like just like the Cannibal Holocaust. Like, I mean, I only bought this because it's part of the trilogy, the Cannibal trilogy. And I was like, well, it's a Deodato film. I got to see this. And unfortunately, it just doesn't hold a candle to Holocaust.
Yeah, it's funny. I put this stream in the Italian show playlist since it was basically the three, you, me, Keith, and then we had Chris here. So I just put it in as like one of those episodes. We basically talked Italian horror the entire time. Anyway, so it felt like the fucking Canale Rimbalzo show. So this is like one. So this is absolutely fun. It sucks that we lost Keith. I'm guessing it's because of the weather or Wi-Fi issues. But because he hasn't even, I didn't even get a message on Instagram or anything like that. So he must be like out of Wi-Fi.
It happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really surprised that I don't have like internet issues, because here's the thing.
Me too. Yeah, I know. Me too. When
it's like raining outside and it's really windy, there should be issues. But now when I'm not streaming and I'm like walking around my house, my internet won't work. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And I know there's certain spots where I stand and it'll work, and it's like, okay, it's working now. But I'm like, how come when I stream and I'm in my room, there's no issues, but once I'm done with that, the issues are just start coming out of the woodwork?
Every time I'm browsing, like the internet and stuff like that, right? There's a spot right in my, like when I'm in bed that I have to move the phone sometimes around. Like you're looking for
Yeah.
fucking back in the 2000s, just like for a page to load or something. I
Back in
don't
the
know what it is.
2000s.
There's one dead spot, like right in the middle of where like my bed is somewhere. It's fucking so weird. It's like
Yeah,
2024, right? Like we shouldn't
I
have any
know.
issues anymore with any type of technology, Wi-Fi, or any of that at this point, but we do.
I mean, like, it just drives me crazy that, like, sometimes I'm like, how am I not having service? And I'm right near the fucking router. But when I leave the house and go to the store for fucking whatever it is for milk, you know, the internet's fucking working, no problem. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then for
Just
some
wait
reason,
till you get there.
the best spot where the internet works in my house is right at my kitchen sink. Right? If we stand right in front of that kitchen sink right there, that shit
It
fucking works
it
so
wants-
well.
it
And then you
wants
walk
to
away
do
from it,
dishes.
no?
That's what it wants you to do, the dishes. It wants you to be doing dishes forever. So Wi-Fi should work right there, because
clean,
that's where it
man.
wants you. It always wants you. That's funny. Yeah, man.
But like there's times
you're in
where
New
like,
York.
you know, the people in my house are like, what are you doing at the sink? Well, the internet's working over here.
That's funny. All right, so this was fucking fun, guys. It was great diving into this movie and other Italian stuff. Thanks for joining, and Chris, awesome having you on. And definitely
Absolutely.
we'll do
Yeah.
something soon for sure. Everyone in chat, everyone have a great night. Everyone, thanks for hanging out, and
Go
also
vote
just
for
thanks.
YouTuber of the month. Go vote.
Yes.
Go vote on Keith's channel.
That's right. Go vote over there, and also thanks everybody for your just everyone's comments and just support and thoughts and everything for Dave. It
Absolutely.
would mean everything to him, and it means a lot to me and everyone in this community. So thanks everybody for that too. But I'll be traveling upstate tomorrow, and then I will have videos out all weekend. Saturday morning is South Park Saturday morning #2. Enjoying some South Park, and then no plans after that. So that's it.
Yeah.
What's going on your channel, Keith? Chris, what's going on? What's going on this week? Stuff on your channel?
Nothing much. I might do what I watched. I'm sounding a little bit better, still got the cough going, but I might do what I watched in the month of March tomorrow. So may do a live stream on that. Expect a slasher stream with me and Darren at the end of this month. I'm thinking we'll do something freaky in our collection with Keith and me and Sean towards the end of this month in April too. That works a bit better. Well, I'll basically go through for my first time watches, one of those being the Red Queen kills 7 times. So expect that one coming up soon. Other than that, yeah, I'm just doing what I do. So.
Sweet. And that is a great movie. Sean, what's going on with you? What are you doing Friday? Watches.
We got 2 watch parties scheduled this weekend. On Friday, we're going to be watching the 1981 Canadian horror film, The Pit.
Oh,
and on Sunday, April 7th, we're going to be watching the 1983 film Suburbia, and both of those are at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, we got 2 watch parties scheduled for this weekend.
Nice. I've never seen that second one. When you mentioned
Suburbia?
Yeah, I never saw Suburbia. The Pit's good.
Actually, I still haven't seen it myself. It was requested from Texas Hardcore 1965. He requested it, but I'm actually going to be watching it tomorrow so I can be familiar with the movie. But it looks like a really good film. Like, it's got Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers is in it, so he's very young in it. It's got a really interesting cast, and for some reason, it's like labeled as a thriller documentary. It is like in a way, kind of has like themes of like a coming of age thing, but it is like a punk rock theme type movie. But I mean, I know Shout Factory, I think Shout Select released a Blu-ray of it. I'm probably going to pick that up eventually, but I am excited to finally see the movie, and we're going to be doing a watch party for it too.
Oh,
so
Suburbia, that's the one that has the bald dude on the cover of it, right? I think
you can see that right there.
Yep.
Hey, Karen.
Karen
was watching. Oh, nice. Yeah, I do that all the time too. While I just throw streams on and listen. Says is Jen joining for the Pit?
Yeah, she is supposed to be joining us. I mean, I don't know if she is or not. She's supposed to be, so we'll see how that goes.
Yes. And also, what other things do I have to say? Quick. CJ Graham, I talked to his wife, so because he missed the 2 times, but they loved that video that I put up and made fun of him a little bit for not showing up. But she's gonna get back to me hopefully about Tuesday, and we're gonna pre-record it, and just in case he has technical issues again or anything like that. So it's people aren't waiting in a live stream, and I'm not waiting on them, so we can do it whenever. So I'll pre-record that and then premiere it. And yeah, that's basically it. So that's what's going on everyone's channels. Everyone in chat, have a great night, guys. Thanks for joining. Keith, if you rewatch the end of this for some reason, thanks for joining. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.
All right. Take care, everyone.